Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to iTouch App Reviewers. In this video, boy oh boy do we have some stories for you to go over. So this first one here is pretty crazy. Apple shut down all of Facebook's internal apps when revoking their enterprise certificate. So let's back up for a minute. In case you guys didn't know, Facebook was actually paying teens and adults too $20 per month to install a data gathering app on their phone. Basically took tons of sensitive details and sent it straight back to Facebook. So in return, they'd give you less than $1 a day to see tons of stuff that you do on your phone. They even had people screenshotting their Amazon receipts and sending it over. Like, it is just ridiculous what people would do for $20 and also for Facebook. Now, apparently Apple didn't know about this, and the way that Facebook was getting around it was they were signing this through their own enterprise certificate. So you'd go to the website, you'd have to download the app, and then it would tell you to install it and trust them. Now, this is what a lot of sketchy apps do for like jailbreak stuff, without fully jailbreaking. You download something and then hit install and then trust blah, blah, blah. Well, Facebook was doing that and technically was abusing Apple's enterprise certificates. So Apple found out about it and they disabled it completely. So now Facebook's internal apps that they use for testing for Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, all of their apps don't work. So their developers now don't work either. So they have been on life support, supposedly. They're freaking out at Facebook because Apple just canceled it altogether. And thank you, Apple, for doing that. Facebook is a disgusting company, especially paying teens $20 a month to gather tons of information is just ridiculous. So now, Facebook, you've got what you deserve. Now, Google was also doing the same thing. I read this today, and it was before it got disabled, but Google was literally doing the same thing, paying people in like gift cards and stuff to look at what they do on their phone, which is really creepy. And then Google issued an apology and disabled it before Apple could revoke it. I hope Apple still does revoke it just because, just kind of teach them, hey, this is a big deal, because these are huge companies that are just taking information from what I would guess would be innocent people that don't understand what they're getting into. They think, oh, I'm going to get a gift card out of this for, showing my entire web browsing history for the past week, whatever I do on my phone. Like, that's just creepy. And they were abusing Apple's thing, and it goes against their terms of service. So, it is what it is, guys. Now, the next stories here, I'm going to have to blow through a little bit because there's just so much to talk about today, and I don't want to make this video 10 minutes long. But anyways, triple lens cameras coming to 2019 iPhone, 2020 iPhones and iPads to feature laser powered 3D cameras. So we were thinking the laser powered 3D cameras might come this year, but apparently that might not be happening. Now, internally, there has been word that this is the design Apple chose for the 2019 iPhones. Remember, we had that blocky, real ugly looking one, which in my opinion, I thought was more Apple-like than this one. This one looks like an Android phone, which kind of sucks. Well, apparently this is the one that Apple is tentatively choosing. Like, I think they might have leaked out both of those just to see what people would say. And people obviously preferred this one because it looks a little bit more normal, but I don't know, it looks like an Android phone to me. But this is the one supposedly going forward. And there's a lot of talk about the 2019s and 2020 iPhones. And with their cameras. So I guess we'll see the more crazy stuff in 2020. We might even see USB-C connectors this year on the phones. We'll see. I will have an entire video going over this in the future. But for now, just keep this in your mind. This is probably the design we're going to see. And about these cameras, 2020 is going to have the cooler 3D laser powered ones. Now for iOS 13, it is supposedly going to include dark mode. Finally, iPad upgrades, CarPlay improvements, and more. So with iOS 13, we really need an overhaul. That's what we need. We need a complete overhaul of the system. And I hope that Apple does this, especially for the iPads. The iPads are so useless these days, just in the sense that they run iOS and they need their own special operating system that allows them to take full advantage, of the huge screen on the iPad Pro. Those things are so capable, but they're just limited by iOS. Now for the phones, I want to see something new with 13. We thought we were going to get it with 12. We didn't. So 13 better be freaking good. I feel like 2019 is the year Apple's going to really, innovate this year and just show us some cool stuff. So iOS 13, look out for it. Dark mode, iPad upgrades, and CarPlay improvements. Now, as we get more on this, of course, I will show you guys But dark mode, that's a big one. Now, we've already touched on this, but I wanted to just quickly touch on it one more time because I know a lot of you guys are hyped and you guys have been asking questions about, the iPad mini, like will it come with an Apple Pencil and all kinds of other things. We don't know too much about that yet, but what we do know is that this is more than likely coming as early as this spring. So a 10-inch iPad, which will probably be cheaper than obviously the iPad Pros, and a cheaper iPad mini coming basically in Q1, possibly Q2, but like beginning half, if that makes sense. Probably before spring. This lines up pretty much exactly with what we've been saying. I'm thinking mid-February into the beginning of March, some of this stuff, but we'll see. This is still developing. This is nothing, set in stone yet. Now, one last thing about that FaceTime bug. Apparently, New York officials are investigating it. They're basically focusing on Apple's failure to warn consumers about the bug and its slow response. I don't know if law enforcement should really get involved with this, but at the same time, this was such a big bug and Apple clearly did not listen to the teenager and the mom who reported this like over a week ago. So I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air about this. If they get sued about it, that's fine because this is a huge bug. It's temporarily fixed, guys. In case you didn't know, they disabled group FaceTime from the server side, so you can't do this. We expect 12.1.4 to come out later this week. I'm guessing tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you guys can calculate your time zones there. That's when I'm thinking it'll be released, but until then, it is fixed. So those are all the things that are going on right now in the Mac and iPhone world. One other thing, Apple released their quarterly earnings reports and everything, and it was really good. So if you're an investor, you're probably pretty happy right now. I am happy. Apple stocks obviously went up because of this, which is great as an investor. So if you guys do invest for all these terrible months, it's actually turning around and getting pretty good. So that's all I got for this video, guys. If you liked it, hit it with a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.